name is Usman Bugaje. The Nigerian economy is a product of its politics, because economy of any country is a factor of the policies of that country, which is shaped by people who are in government. And what this means is that those who have responsibility to govern have a responsibility to create an economy that can meet the needs of the country. In the 21st century, in particular, knowledge is the greatest capital in any economy. The whole world economy is shifting and moving towards knowledge economy, which means that one of the first and most important thing is to ensure that there is a good educational system, an educational system that teaches the skills that are required to run the industries and the productive sectors of the economy. Now, all this speaks to the quality of leadership, the political leadership that a country has. If you want to, discuss the Nigerian setting, the current level, or in fact in the last few years, in fact you can say in the last 20 years or so, Nigerian economy has not been performing very well. What are the indicators? What are the figures? Take poverty, for example. When the economy works, poverty is supposed to be reduced so that the inequalities in society are breached, meaning the gap between the rich and the poor is reduced, and that the basic needs of society are provided by that economy. But in the last 20 years, we have seen that poverty has more than doubled. It has actually tripled. And because it has tripled, and this is in spite of unprecedented revenue that we got from oil. If you recall, in 1998-99, the barrel of oil was selling barely $11 to $12. In the 2000 when it started rising to 20, it went to 30, later it went to 40. It went as far as over $100 per barrel, which generated huge revenue for the Nigerian state. But despite that, poverty doubled. If you look at the figures of the National Bureau for Statistics, you will see that poverty has been deepening from that particular point in time. Now that shows that governance is not functioning, is not really bringing out the requisite policies for the economy to grow. Industries have not been increasing, they have actually been reducing. There are many industries. We did a survey in 2002, I think, or 2003, which showed that majority of the industries in the country are performing, either closed down completely or performing far below their production. That's not good for the economy, because economies or countries don't become rich simply through sharing of revenues, even if it continues to flow much more, because now it's fluctuating, because the dependency on oil price is not stable, it's always going up and down based on so many other factors. Therefore, we are not industrializing, we are not developing, we are not producing electricity. As you know, we have not really increased the amount of electricity we have been producing in the last 20 years, even though we have spent close to $20 billion now. I mean, when I was in Parliament, I left Parliament 2007, and by that time we had already spent nearly 13-point-something billion, and there was no increase in any megawatt of electricity. Subsequently, it went to 16 billion. It went beyond 16 billion. I don't know what it is now, but my estimate are that at least 20 billion has been spent without anything to show for it, and nobody has gone to jail as far as I know. Now, the point is, okay, a member, I remember, was recently prosecuted, but that's 20 years after all this money has gone down the drain. So talking about economy in short, Nigerian economy has not been growing, has not been performing, and my own sense is it is not growing because the politics or the political leadership has not taken the right kind of policies that will grow the economy. Now, maybe what I need to say now is that the tragedy of lack of growth of economy is what we're having now, the insecurity, you know, in the northeast, in the northwest, in the north central, in other places, the violence, the kidnapping, the killings, the rural banditry, even the Boko Haram itself can be traced to the rebellion of young people against the Nigeria's political economy, because there is nothing for young people. They are being churned out with great, with degrees on the street without any jobs. You know, they have skills, but they don't know where to go. Some perish in the desert in trying to get to places where they can use their skills to earn a living. The Nigerian economy is not expanding. It's not providing jobs, for young people. But now that tragedy is going to grow because at the moment we are only 200 plus million in terms of population. The UN projections are that in 2030, this country is going to be 300 million. 20 years after that, that is in 2050, we're expected to be 450 million. And that will make us the third largest country in the world after India and China. What that should mean to our politicians, they will now begin to plan. How do you provide education for this large number of people? How do you provide jobs? How do you provide shelter? How do you provide this? How do you provide that? This is what political leaders should be debating, should be complaining. What are the ideas that are going to, what are the innovations that we're going to create so that our economy will grow? This is not on the table. I don't hear any conversation like this among politicians. What I hear is that they want a president from this part of the country, they want a president from that part of the country. I don't see how a president from one part of the country will really solve the problem. I don't want to know where my president comes from. I want to know whether my president is competent. What is his level of education? What is his level of experience? What is his capacity? What is his character? This is what has been missing. And this is why I said the economy of any country is a factor of its own politics. Our politics is, if you like, it's a rogue politics. It's characterized by violence, by frivolities, by all the kind of terrible things that we see, today in this country, and therefore is not in a position to. So we have got to fix that politics, in my opinion, before we can get the economy right. Because if we do not, and we have these kind of leaders that we have today who don't even understand the economy and who see governance as a means of stealing and just enriching themselves, then they will continue this way and the economy is not growing and young people are going to be frustrated. We're going to have conflicts and the insecurity is going to escalate to levels that we have not seen before. And this country, God forbid, might take the path of Somalia or Liberia.